You're listening to the Telltale channel. Don't forget to check me out on all social media: Patreon, Twitter, Teespring, and Etsy. All links can be found in the description or on my website, telltaleatheist.com. Hey, this is Owen. If you're comfortable, leave your first name and state at the sound of the tiny truck backing up.
Hi, my name is Amber, and I'm not from the state. I'm from Canada, Ontario. And I had a funny question for you. I don't know how much you know the details of the fall of Rome, but I was kind of wondering what you thought about it, because I had a friend before he died from COVID who talked about how the United States looked like it's going in that route. And from everything that's going on now, I'm thinking it's probably, it's probably that and a combination of maybe Germany from long, long time ago, if you know what I'm talking about. So, yeah, I was kind of wondering what your thoughts were on it. Just, I don't know, you know more about this stuff than I do, I assume. So, yeah. Anyways, bye.
I appreciate that. I wouldn't count on it. I wouldn't count on the idea that I know more about it than you do. I don't know. Maybe I do. But I'm just another dude, doing my thing just like anybody else. I do keep up closely with politics, though. I watch politics really closely. And obviously I watch cults very closely, too, and evangelicalism and stuff like that. And being heavily entrenched in evangelical research and study, as I am, naturally, politics is heavily intertwined with that research. So, to answer your question, I do know a little bit about the fall of Rome and, of course, the fall of Germany in the 40s. It's hard to know exactly what's going to happen next. And it's really scary, but I feel like the U.S. will persist as a financial power in the world because I think social media is one of our biggest assets as a country. Like Facebook, Twitter, YouTube, Google, stuff like that. Those are drawing money from outside the U.S. in, and they're massive financial powers. They have generated so much money for the U.S. economy from outside of the U.S., and on top of that, we control our own currency, so that it's that much more powerful. That's why the U.S. continues to be a world power. We have a financial power that other countries in the world just don't. China is a unique case, too, in the sense that they have kind of been the world's factory for a while, and they have their own social media networks, too, but they're not drawing money from outside of their country into their country with their social media networks, not like the U.S. is, at the very least. WeChat, for example, it doesn't generate very much money outside of the U.S., but it's doesn't generate much money from outside of China, but it's heavily used by the Chinese people. So a lot of the wealth generation from social media in China is coming from inside of China, not from outside of China. So it's making them kind of a strong nation, but it doesn't really rival the financial power that the U.S.'s social media networks are generating for the U.S. I feel like in the 1940s, there was a clearly defined evil happening in the world. I'm looking at this through the lens of history, so it's hard to say with any kind of certainty that this is how it played out, but through the lens of history, it seems to me that there was a clearly evil thing taking place, and there were major countries on the side of good at the time. If the U.S. really started doing something bad, which it has, there have been some really bad stuff, but if it got really bad, like 1940s Germany bad, who would stop us? Who would stop the U.S.? Who would step in? Not China. They're one of the only ones that has a rivaling economy that could take us. They don't care. Not Russia. Russia is surprisingly small, and they want this kind of thing happening. Like, Russia seems to want right-wing extremism to flourish in the world. Who would stop us? The EU pays the US to build the military to protect NATO. Who watches the Watchmen? This is a really tough situation. The US is a financial power, and it will remain a financial power for who knows how long, because a lot of our wealth generation is coming from outside the US. So who stops us if some really crazy shit starts going down? I don't know. I guess we can just sit back and wait, see what happens, and just vote.